Welcome back, chooms, to my Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty Strength and Power tier list. Due to the success of my original video, I thought it was only right to make a sequel to it and rank the characters from the Phantom Liberty DLC. Yeah, I know, I'm late. Like almost 2 years late. But I'm a gonk, and it took me this long to actually finish the DLC. Better late than never, I guess. A few things I'd like to mention from the first video. My bad for not knowing what Monowire was called. I somehow played through the entire game without even seeing it. As far as placements go, it seems most people had a problem with how high I put Johnny, and said how strong he was in the flashback was actually just how Johnny remembered it, and not accurate to how it actually went down. That could be the case, but I haven't seen any evidence for that, and Johnny's easily the best character in the game, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and keep him there. I think anyone who says otherwise is probably an Arasaka agent out to besmirch Johnny's name. Now moving on to the additions to the list. In the fodder tier I added Jacob and Taylor. They're your standard Dogtown residents who could hold their own in a fight. V and President Myers easily take them out in one scenario, but can bond with them in another. Kurt Hansen's men end up killing them in one of the possible pathways. I put them above the hand-to-hand fighting twins, the lowly modded teenager, and the incompetent coward, but below all the competent weapon users. Voted into the low tier, the only addition is President Rosalind Myers. Myers has the ability to help V kill Jacob and Taylor, so it makes sense she's a tier above them. And she helps fight alongside V similar to Panam, Sol, and Rogue, so being in the same tier as them also makes sense. If V has less than 20 points put into body, Myers is able to get the better of them when she takes V by surprise, and could have arguably killed them, which is a solid feat, which leads me to believe she should at least be in this tier. Heck, she can kill V if you don't answer one of her questions in time. I think this is enough to put her at the top of this tier, but realistically, she doesn't have the cyberware to go higher. In the mid tier, there's also just one new addition, Yuri. He was Kurt Hansen's lieutenant and a tanky boss V has to fight. He seemed to have decent cyberware, but nothing special. As a high-ranking Barghest soldier, he would likely go above most in this tier, though I'm not sure he would beat David with his Sandevistan. Climbing up to the high tier, the three bosses in this tier have better cyberware and should be a level above Yuri. Yasha Ivanov is a scav boss who's built like a tank, can heal, and turn invisible. There isn't much lore on him, and he doesn't have any speed-enhancing cyberware, so I put him at the bottom of this tier. Chester Bennett was Kurt Hansen's number 2, so he's unsurprisingly a level above someone ranked lower like Yuri, but not in the same tier as Hansen himself. He's described as a heap of muscle and chrome that stood out for his strength on the battlefield when he served in the army. Despite his large size, his implants allow him to dodge bullets. As a trained soldier, he's likely above the characters I put below him. However, James Norris, the cyber psycho from Edgerunners, was also in the military with the same rank of lieutenant colonel. James was outfitted with more cyberware and was a killing machine, while Bennett was a bit of a coward, so Chester goes below the cyber psycho. Boris Rybakov is a sharpshooter from an elite Savoil unit with 167 confirmed kills, visual implants with full synchronization with SmartLink, quickened reflexes, adrenaline pumps, 2-tier Netrunner training, and camouflage software. This Spec Ops veteran is hyped up as a killing machine in his database entry, so it should be of no surprise someone like this made it into the high tier. Nobody in this tier has accolades on his level, which is why he's at the top. I would also argue he's a harder boss fight than all the others in this tier as well. Getting to some of the biggest threats in Night City and Dogtown, at the bottom of the elite tier I put Max Tac officers. They enjoy their pick of weapons, the best cyberware, and prototype gear. In Edgerunners, we see how they easily take down James Norris with his Sandevistan, who I put in the high tier. And for them, that was just another Tuesday. In one of the possible routes in Phantom Liberty, V has a run-in with a group of them and needs Solomon Reed's help sniping them to disable their cyberware to take them down. Considering they could beat cyber psychos with powerful chrome on a regular basis, but can't beat V in a group, I think it's fair to put them a tier between the two. Alex and Kurt Hansen are neck and neck as both kill each other in alternate story routes of the game. I put Kurt higher as Alex took Kurt completely off guard when she killed him, while Alex was somewhat on guard when Kurt killed her. While they both have Sindevistans, Kurt is confirmed to have a Mark III, which is one of the best reflex boosters available in the market. On top of that, Kurt has cyber arms and fortified ankles. Kurt also gives V a challenge in his boss fight, even in the quick time events, which make it even more official. Considering how well Kurt does against V, I believe he and Alex probably scale over David. Though I do question if they could defeat Oda and Takamura, as they were the personal elite bodyguards to arguably two of the most important people in the world. Solomon Reed being this high may be confusing to some, as he goes down with a single shot if V decides to take him out. However, I think this is more of a narrative choice, similar to how Myers and Alex can both kill V with a single shot if the player does something wrong during a dialogue option. Heck, Reed one-shots V right back in that quick draw if you don't respond quick enough, or if you do something he doesn't like. Via lore, Solomon Reed is among the best agents in the NUSA, meaning he's likely at least on par with Alex, which I think the narrative also presents. But even more than that, it's stated in his heyday he could compete with legends like Morgan Blackhand himself. This means Prime Reed should arguably go in the legend tier. However, since it's specifically mentioned in his heyday, I think it's likely Reed was not on that level during the events of Phantom Liberty. This is backed up by V taking him out so easily, though you could argue that's because Reed's heart really wasn't in it. Other than that, the only feat for Reed I can think of is how he could damage the max tax soldiers with his sniper rifle, which would further back him up going in this tier. In the cyberware department, he's got heavy subdermal armor, charged jump, and gorilla arms, though it seemed like that subdermal armor really wasn't that useful. Since Prime Reed could be argued into the legend tier due to his bio, I put him just one spot shy of it. At the top of the hierarchy in the legend tier, there are 3 new additions. Aguilar is a legendary Cuban assassin that commands as much respect and fear as V. They don't actually appear in the game, V just impersonates them, but their reputation truly precedes them and they are no doubt a legend in the world of Cyberpunk. Due to being featless, he was left at the bottom of the tier. The Chimera is the first boss in Phantom Liberty, but this thing is truly a monster. It had V running for their life, and it took Songbird and Myers helping them to take it down. Based on that, you could argue it actually goes at the top of the list, though Songbird had yet to master her powers and V still had some growing to do since the fight takes place at the start of the DLC, so I put it below them. But considering Adam Smasher lost to V even with reinforcements and got damaged by Rogue and Saul, I think the Chimera surpasses him in raw power. Adam has a chance though due to his intelligence and adaptability. Songbird with the power of the Black Wall backing her can take out V or anyone else that gets in her way. In one of the story pathways, V's able to harness this power, and I can tell you I felt more powerful than I ever had, so I definitely think she deserves to be at the top of the list. I do still think Alt tops her though, and some dialogue actually backs this up. But like I mentioned in my original video, I left Alt unranked as she doesn't have a physical body, so counting her really isn't fair. One of the story paths has Songbird take control of a Cerberus robot that V has to run from like it's a horror monster. But Songbird shut V's cyberware off, so they weren't at full strength. In its database entry, it stated to have practically indestructible armor, so even if V did have his cyberware, he probably wouldn't even be able to damage it anyways. Though if it was a Cerberus not being controlled by Songbird, there's a good chance V could hack it or find another way to defeat it. We've come to the end of my Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty Strength and Power tier list. Do you agree with my placements? Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you liked the video, it's in the name. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future videos, and so I can brag to everyone about how high my subscriber count is. If you don't, I'm gonna use the Black Wall to hack your computer and send your porn history to everyone you know. Until next time, chooms, I got a Delta.